I want to talk a little bit about green with you, okay? You can use whatever green you want for this project. So if you want to use Hooker's green straight from the tube, go for it. Simplify your life, use a convenience mix, have fun. It's going to be beautiful, okay? You can add little highlights with green gold. You can mix them together. If you want a really darker green, you can add a little Payne's gray to it and it's going to darken it up for you. All of that completely valid. I have some sap green here too, a great color to use when you're painting plants and leaves. Totally fine to use convenience mixes. If you're like me, you always have a lot of green mixed up in your palette and I just re-wet that, and if I want it to be a little more yellow, I add yellow or green gold. If I want more blue, I add blue. If I want it darker, I add more Hooker's green or Payne's gray, and I just always have that going there. But what I also want to show you and challenge you to do is to get used to using your primary colors, just 3 colors to mix everything. So if I use my nickel azo yellow and make a little well of it right there, okay, and I grab some quinacridone rose in this instance. Now sometimes that primary magenta might be quinacridone magenta, it might be something different. For this project we've used quinacridone rose and some phthalo blue. Okay, there we go. Now you know that if you mix nickel azo yellow with the phthalo blue, it's going to make green, and it's going to be a super vibrant, almost too vibrant green, right? It doesn't look realistic. We don't see that color green very much in nature. It needs to be toned down a little bit. The way we tone it down is by taking a little bit of our third color, our magenta, and slowly adding it in. And look, it already immediately looks a little bit more toned down, a little better. Okay, I added too much that time. And that's the thing. It's a balancing act, okay? That's going to give us more of a gray color. And indeed, when you mix all 3, you're going to get a gray color, okay? I'm just going to bring these in and get it looking green again. There we go. That is a beautiful green. That is fairly close to our Hooker's green. It's beautiful, and because you've used the same colors, the quinacridone rose and the nickel azo yellow, because you've used the same colors to mix up this color for your leaf as the colors you used in your flower, it's automatically going to look very harmonious and very beautiful. It takes a little practice to figure out how you want to mix things, and for some of this, we might want to add a little more yellow to our green, because if you look at some pictures of the hibiscus leaves, you're going to see some areas have a much more bright kind of yellow look to them, right? Whereas some areas are more in that kind of shadowy, have a little bit more of a blue to it. So you can use convenience colors like the ones up here if you want to, but you can also use just a very limited palette of 3 colors, and you can achieve all of the different greens that you need with only 3 colors, okay? Don't forget, when you mix all of them together, you get a beautiful neutral gray too, okay? And you can take that gray just like that. You can add it to other things. You can also tone it way down for a really light, beautiful gray too. So using just your 3 primary colors is a great way to challenge your paint mixing skills, your color mixing skills. It's a great way to really force yourself to understand color mixing and to use a limited palette where you don't need all the colors, right? You don't need 48 colors or 100 colors or something. You can use just 3 colors. Those 3 colors can be something different. It doesn't mean that they have to be specifically quinacridone rose and phthalo blue and yellow. It can be 3 different ones. But stretch yourself, challenge yourself, make a big pile of paint and start mixing things up and testing it out. And you'll be amazed at how much you can do with very little.